Okay, hey everyone. My name is Colin Scott, and I am the Business Development Officer for Speedy Publishing LLC. And in today's video, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be reviewing the South Dakota Social Studies Standards that were released on April 17, 2023, and show the number of titles that we have in our existing catalog that matches back to the existing SD Anchor standards. So without further ado, let's head over to that spreadsheet and take a look on our numerous titles that match back to these anchor standards. Okay guys, so we're over here at the Google spreadsheet, and there's a link in the description for this particular spreadsheet here. And of course, it's the South Dakota Department of Ed, their social studies standards, and our existing catalog list that matches that. So once you head here, what you're going to find is that we have a couple of columns here. We've got our grade, we've got the SD Anchor standards, we've got the topic, we've got the print ISBN, and we have the title of the existing book. Now, this print ISBN represents the paperback version of the book. And so if in any event that you need to actually take a look on this existing title and get a copy or review copy, you can contact us directly, or you can reach out to the South Dakota Department of Education and the team over there and request that copy. And they, of course, put in that request to us, and we can forward those actual physical copies to you. But of course, in a couple of minutes, we're going to give you a really much better option that you can actually look on the existing catalog list and review that title immediately. So let's kind of take a look on what's on this existing spreadsheet and the two different tabs that we have. So first we have our grade, and this can show you that we've got G2 obviously representing grade 2, G3 representing grade 3, grade 4, etc., etc. And in this specific column, we have the existing standard. Now, the existing standard has a particular code to it. So it would be, of course, 2, S2 being grade 2, SS, of course, being social studies, and then 1, and then section 8. So in this particular case here, what we've done is that we've added an existing comment to this particular sheet. And what you'll see here is that if I mouse over or just select that link, it's going to tell you exactly what that particular anchor standard represents. And so in this case here, we have the student can move his or her finger on a map and on a globe in the correct cardinal direction when asked, right? And so we can go over here and we can actually see that the topic says, of course, cardinal directions. Then we have the print ISBN, and of course we have the title of the book, which is an easy reference identifying cardinal and intermediate directions, social studies grade 2, children's geography and cultures book. Right? So, and that is, of course, the title of that particular book here. And you can scroll down here and you can see that we go all the way down until we get to grade 7. So this is between G2 and G7 titles. And again, it covers a very wide range of topics, going from conflicts in the Pueblos, Jamestown, the founders of the colonies, the causes of the French and Indian War, the results of the French and Indian War. And what you might find is that there might be multiple titles that actually deal with a specific topic, right? So in this particular case here, we've got this, of course, being 4SS 6A, and that, of course, represents grade 4 social studies, the option, the standard 6, and the anchor A here. And so what that says, and this matches back to the existing document, that the student explains why and how Great Britain asserted new authority in the colonies after the French and Indian War, and why the colonies contested Britain's new claims to control as violations of their rights and freedom. And of course, if we go across here, we can actually see that has to do here. We have the English fought for fur, causes of the French and Indian War, grade 4, fighting to rule America, causes and results of the French-Indian War here, and then, of course, how the British invaded North America, the French and Indian War. And, of course, this, again, these are not exactly the same titles. They're different topics that they each touch on, but the core concept or the core information in that existing title has to do with the causes and the results of the French-Indian War, and then, of course, it matches back to this existing anchor standard. Now, let us assume, as we scroll down here, that you're looking for topics that don't exactly match back to what we have on the anchor standards or the social studies standards, but we have a lot of supporting content as well. So that appears on this tab here that says social studies, G2 to G7, and of course it says supporting. And that means that there are a whole wide range of other topics that are grade specific that might not appear specifically in the social studies standards, right? But there's a lot of great content here that educators, librarians, and teachers obviously can use. And so these are different subjects and topics. And so we can scroll down here, we can see again, the columns are based on grade, subject, topic, the print ISBN, and the title of that existing book. So we've got things such as citizenship and government, colonial history, Columbus's journeys, we've got, Constitutional Convention, Albany Congress, and a whole wide range of different supporting content. One of the things that we did recognize, not a lot of mythology is touched on at all with respect to whether it's Norse mythology or, any kind of Greek mythology is not touched on. We do have quite a bit of those topics here that can be covered, and of course educators and librarians and teachers can review those topics here. Now let us imagine that you of course would want to go ahead and request a physical copy. Again, as I said to you before, you can request it directly from us, or you can request it from the Dakota Department of Education. Kristen and the team over there, they're fantastic. You can reach out to them and they can reach out to our team, and we will gladly send through physical copies for you. Now, what about if you wanted to review you saw the title, you want to review it immediately? Well, you can do that using our existing online service, and we're going to show you that in just a minute. So I'm going to pick an existing title here, and I'm going to choose this title here, which has to do with a very popular topic called the Missouri Compromise, right? And so I'm going to grab this one here, and of course it tells us that this is grade 5 social studies 5.F, and it says here, of course, the student explains the Missouri Compromise. So let's grab this existing ISBN, which is an ISBN number or identifying number for the particular book. For this title, the Missouri Compromise Threatens National Unity, and it's U.S. Politics 1801 to 1840. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and grab this ISBN, and then we're going to head over to speedypublishing.online. So we're here at speedypublishing.online, and what you're basically looking at is our entire catalog that of over 3,000 titles. Of course, a lot of those titles between the grade PK to grade 8 that match with the existing South Dakota social studies standards. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to quickly log in here. And once you've logged in, what you'll realize is that you'll see our typical navigation. We've got, grade 1, grade 2, all the way up to grade 8. And then we have a special section that deals with grade 3 to grade 5, which are general topics, and a lot of content here. So we've got really thousands and thousands of titles here that are going to be useful for any educator and any librarian to review here. And again, all our titles are available in print, hardcover, and of course ebook format. So in this case here, we're going to look for that ISBN that we saw, and we're just going to put that here. We're going to paste the ISBN here, and we're going to hit the search here. And then now, once we have that, we can go ahead and select that existing title. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that title here. Great, and then now we have that existing book. Now, of course, on the left-hand side, there are a couple of great features, such as note-taking, etc., etc. But in this case, what you're doing is that you're using the reader itself to just review the existing title. So on the left-hand side, you're going to be able to see, of course, the table of contents. So we've got our cover, we've got our introduction, we've got our different 2 chapters and sub-chapters, etc., all notes on slavery. We've got our summary, and of course we have our mark records here, which are very, very important. Of course, the mark records will of course tell you the publication date of the title, the BISAC classifications, the number of pages, the sales rights, etc., and the key and critical concepts, right? And of course, it will give you, as well as the paperback ISBN, the hardcover ISBN, and of course, ebook ISBN. And of course, as you get further into it, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But once you head here, you can head over to the beginning of this existing book here, and you can start browsing through the existing content. And you can read that book from cover to cover before you decide to make a decision on whether or not you want to bring it in for your students and bring it in for your existing district or school. right? And so you can go through the entire catalog itself, and you can see that we use a lot of images here, and we're trying to make the content as easy to read as possible. And of course, all our content is grade specific and pretty much spot on for these particular titles here. And so you can go through the entire content page by page by page. And then of course, if it's something that you do want to actually see the physical copy, you could go ahead and see that physical copy or request that physical copy from us directly again, or you can request that from the Department of Education. Okay guys, so that pretty much concludes the introductory video. Went a little bit over the 10-minute mark, but it was well worth it. And again, we want to say congratulations to the South Dakota Department of Education putting together a really, really solid and stalwart social studies standards that we definitely realize that it's really, really well put together. We were really, really impressed, along with other publishers and other educators coming in from different states as well. Okay guys, so again, thanks so much for making it Speedy Publishing, and you can find that link for the catalog down there in the description as well.